morning, students. Today we are going to start our first chapter of business studies. We would be starting from second book, last chapter, that is consumer protection. Consumer protection you had already studied in class 9. Also, Consumer Protection Act is covered under Consumer Protection Act 1986. So why consumer protection is important? If you go through your book, you will find that consumer protection is important from customer point of view and also from business point of view. So now I would like to tell you that how it is important from customer point of view. That is why we should study consumer protection, why it is required for consumer protection. So first point that is given in your book is consumer ignorance. In the light of widespread ignorance of consumers about their rights and reliefs, we must educate them about their rights. Second point is unorganized consumer. Since consumer is very much unorganized, there are no as such consumer organizations which take actively part in protecting consumer interest. That's why consumer protection is important. Third point is widespread exploitation of consumers. Since there is widespread exploitation of consumers, consumer might be exploited by unscrupulous, exploitative, and unfair trade practices like defective and unsafe products, adulteration, false and misleading advertising, hoarding, etc. So far we have discussed about why consumer protection is important from consumer point of view. Because consumer is ignorant, second, consumer is unorganized, third is there is widespread exploitation of consumer. Then why consumer protection is important for businesses also, for business firms, why it is important for them to know about consumer protection? Because of the following reasons. First point is long-term interest of business. It is in the long-term interest of business that they must adhere to the principles of consumer protection. Satisfied customers not only lead to repeat sales but also provide good feedback to the prospective customers. Second point is consumer protection is important as society resources are being used by the businesses. So it's their social responsibility to protect interest of consumer. Third point is social responsibility. A business has social responsibilities towards various interest groups. Business organizations make money by selling goods and providing services to consumer. So it is in the interest of consumer to protect their interest. Fourth point is moral justification. It is in moral justification that the consumer must not be exploited from unscrupulous, exploitative and unfair trade practices. And last and very important point is government intervention. Government intervention, because when consumers do not follow, when businesses do not follow consumer protection, then the government can take serious action against these firms. So this can impair and tarnish the image of company. Thus, it is advisable that business organization voluntarily resort to such practices where consumer needs and interest will well be taken care of. So, have you understood that why consumer protection is important? Consumer protection is important from consumer point of view and from business point of view. From consumer point of view, it is important because consumer is ignorant, it is unorganized, and there is exploitation of consumers. And from business point of view, consumer protection is important because it is in long-term interest of business. Business uses society's resources. It is the social responsibility of business to protect interest of consumer. Then moral justification. The last point was government intervention. So that's why consumer protection is important. Students, you must know that consumer protection is covered under Consumer Protection Act 1986. Consumer protection is covered under Consumer Protection Act 1986. Right? This is the last chapter of your second book, second part of business studies, last chapter, which is easy to understand, and this chapter comes of 9 to 10 marks in CBSE board examination. Thank you.